Well, hello, it's Jennifer here. I am starting a new podcast series called SheVerse. And it won't just be podcasts, but, we're going to start here. Okay. So I'm going to do the full moon in Libra today on April 15th. Just want to talk a little bit about this. It's it's kind of funny because it's called the the friendship dance. Okay. But it's also bringing up really like where do you need to create a greater balance in your life? And we've all been asking for that balance. So tension is often a result, okay, of things being imbalanced for too long. So if you've been holding on to something for too long, or there's just something just isn't right, you're feeling a block, you're going to feel a little bit of tension. So, you can use these energies to bring your life back into an even flow. All right. Now, as Libra is ruling over how we connect with others, our relationships, they may have come to, the forefront, like a spotlight under this full moon. You may have received phone calls from people wanting closure. You may be feeling like you need closure. It's fully illuminating these areas for us that we can heal. Okay, we're able to kind of see how they've all blended in together, and it's allowing us to harmonize. Now, we want to keep in mind that, most of the people that we do encounter in this life can be mirrors. Most of the time, they are mirrors reflecting back to us the things that we need to work on or even celebrate within ourselves. So, we can look at others and value what we've learned, or, appreciate certain qualities or aspects about them, and also celebrate them in ourselves. However, due to the cosmic forces with this full moon, there's also a strong need for us to assert ourselves. Okay, just get going. We have the sun and Aries, we have Libra and Moon. It's kind of perfect. And I always talk about my twins, and it really brought up for me that nothing is coincidence. Everything is always happening perfectly, and to bring us to a state of harmony. So if things are not in harmony, they will be, and you'll notice things in your life really wanting to bring it into harmony. And I decided to look at my twins' birth chart one more time. And I realized that their sun is in Libra, and their sun is in Libra and their moon is in Aries. And I thought, wow, okay, well, and they came early. So, and I knew they were coming early because I had, heart pressure, it was preeclampsia for pregnancy. And, so they weren't planned on that day. But yet, for some reason, when the sun and the moon were in balance, they came, and they're twins. So it's really interesting how that, again, it really showed me, wow, they were supposed to come on that day. And of course, they've brought a lot of need for balance in my life, meaning they make sure that I am balanced. They are the ones that are always saying it's not fair. And that's what this week was all about, was it's not fair, and it's not fair. And it's again, it brought up a lot for me as well. Okay. So, it allows us to, it's actually asking us to assert ourselves, set firm boundaries. Okay. Making sure that we're not giving too much and not receiving, making sure that we are giving enough in areas and to ourselves. So this also ensures that the flow of the giving and receiving is equalized when it comes to our relationships. So whatever manifests, keep the idea of harmony in your mind. Know that anything that, falls apart, any discord, any towers, anything that, presents itself is always an opportunity for us to smooth the flow of energy in and out. So sometimes when we see things that are going haywire, or, we tend to want to push it away, or we tend to want to, why is that here? I didn't ask for that, or resist it. But it's almost like, how can I meet this energy in harmony? How can I flow with it? So we want to also really, this is a very powerful time for the feminine energy. We want to allow the flame of your feminine power to be ignited, under the magic, and really embracing that part of you. Allow that warmth of this flame to remind you of the lost wisdom and magic that the feminine possesses. I was speaking to a client earlier, and our sexual energy is not just sexual energy. That is our creative power. That is our creative energy. That is our point of attraction as well. So the feminine possesses this energy, and when she speaks, when she allows this creative flow to go, it's just it's bringing everything into balance, into harmony. But again, it can come with chaos, right? So we want to allow that Kundalini, the prana, we want to allow the flame to rise from within so we can bring a higher balance to the masculine and feminine energies that flow, even, not just through us, but across the globe, right? So this is all happening collectively. So the more we can be in alignment with ourselves and allow this flow to take harmony, we're also allowing that flow to just kind of be a ripple effect, right, across the globe. So, and as you all have known, we have lived in a heavily masculine society. And while there's been nothing wrong with masculine energy, again, that's what allows us to go and to do and to act and to really show up, right? There's way more balance that's needed, right? I mean, we tend to just there's a lot of the controlling aspect of that, where the feminine energy is different. It's really, because what I'm hearing is completely different from what I feel like I should be doing. But really, the creative energy is just a unique expression of love. So it's almost like when we can just sit back for a moment and not, go right based on what we think. We align with the heart center and we allow ourselves to flow with this creative energy. And it's like, wow, and he tends to want to follow that because it's calmer, it's more soothing, it's loving, and it's playful, and it's captivating, right? It's magnetic. So basically each of us, we hold that power to create this balance by, again, continuing to consciously embrace the feminine. We always want to be embracing the feminine energy. So whenever you feel the urge to, discount the feminine, oh, you're too emotional, you're too dramatic, or that doesn't make sense, or, sitting with it and really asking it, embracing it and saying, okay, you know what? I'm here right now. How can I listen? How can I be here? Or, anytime we want to disregard its magic and say, that's just bizarre, that's woo woo, or, that's whatever, it's more like, okay, let me find out more. Let me kind of just let me understand a little bit more. And, I've talked to many women, clients, and interesting enough, I hear a lot of, my husband is starting to really ask questions, he's starting to embrace this. And I even had a male friend who said something to me about, I don't care if you play with crystals or whatever you want to do with your incense, that's fine. It was as if he was embracing the fact that he didn't really need to know the details. He didn't really need to understand exactly what it was, like why. All he was doing was supporting. He's like, okay, I don't need to fully understand it, but I know that you love it. And if it makes you happy, then I support you. So there is this whole thing about not expecting somebody else to, well, you don't relate to me. And it's not that they don't relate, or maybe you can get on a different level of saying, I don't really need you to be in this with me, like understand, what every stone means, or, why I do tarot, or do tarot with me. But it's more of that somebody isn't rejecting that from you and isn't, trying to make fun of it, and with yourself as well, so it's like, oh, well, I really enjoy this about myself. I enjoy doing this. It brings me closer to my intuition, or, you like to paint, or whatever you like to do. If you're honoring that and you're allowing that, then you are embracing the feminine. Okay. So when you do this, and you allow the wisdom that's been suppressed, it creates a shift, a massive shift. And that's what we're able to tap into right now. So, this could look like honoring your monthly cycle. I know that that's where I started. Very, very important, especially when it came to the new moon cycle and the full moon cycle. And, that's something I'll, definitely be discussing with everyone as well in the coming months. Embracing your intuition, asking yourself as your guidance, asserting yourself, and really owning your sexuality, okay, and what that means for you. This moon is also, it's like giving yourself permission to be all that you are. No one out there really gets to tell you who to be, right? I give myself permission to be who I am. I accept and love myself for who I am. I embrace these qualities about me. And, a sudden shift can happen when we accept them. Suddenly others accept them, right? We always expect someone else to accept them first before we can. But then it's more like, you know what? All I can do is be me. And by being me, it's really sets an example. So, this week, again, Sun in Aries, Moon in Libra. So, there's also 4 planets in Pisces this week. So this could create like a walk down memory lane. All right. I saw something I had visions yesterday about really just being back in my energy when I was almost in 9th grade. And it really was taking me back to my innocence, back to a childlike version of myself, but also kind of how I used to view things. And when we do this, it really allows all the stuff that's really piled up from the years that weren't really us, right, to kind of dissipate, right? We kind of look back and realize, wow, that's really not that. That was just that, right? And this is now. So you get to kind of choose what energy you would prefer to be in. So, this moon also illuminates the shadows of your closest relationships. And you may say, well, haven't we been doing shadow work? And yes, we have. And now it's time to really evaluate the relationships. Okay. It also is making you major, like laser focused on your goals. So it's almost like, okay, I really needed these types of relationships, these situations, could even be working relationships, to be balanced. So I really could focus on my goals. Like I needed to be able to really close this out so I could stop dwelling or stop wondering, or, if it was unfinished or anything like that. It's almost like I need to really put this to a close so I can fully put all my energy and focus into my purpose, into my goals, into what I do want to create balance in. So you could also be feeling this, something's got to give, right? Enough is enough kind of energy. And it seems whenever there, has been tension, or wherever there's been tension, whatever has been pulled too tightly, it's going to snap back. It's going to force us to make changes, okay, and find a new way. And, this can be scary because we tend to want to revert back to ways that we were, right? And it just doesn't work anymore. So it can be a little uncomfortable when we're trying something new. So, sometimes we feel like, well, isn't it supposed to feel good if I'm honoring my soul? It is, but there is going to be that little bit of tension area. So you just continue to go. You keep going through it and you keep moving through it. You're teaching yourself again. You're relearning from a new mindset. You're learning from a new foundation, and you're learning how to create balance now, where in the past it was just easy to just go, which created the imbalance, right? Now you're starting fresh on a new foundation, creating that balance. So it will feel different. So again, the full moon is going to peak tomorrow, April 16th through the 17th. Okay. Now its energy is something that we will feel for at least 4 days before. So you may already be feeling this, as well as 4 days after. So due to the rise and fall of the energy, whatever tensions need to be released from our lives are likely to come to a head before it peaks. So you may have already felt this, or something may have already come up to the surface, and now you're just kind of working through that and trying to balance it. Okay. So know that if you feel mounting tension in these days leading up, it's just a sign that something needs to be released, and something needs to be cut in order to go forward and continue. Okay. So another aspect here, and what's interesting, one of the planets that's also very active under the moon is Eris. Okay. And Eris is actually one of the dwarf planets. Okay. But we consider, like a fellow dwarf planet. All right. Like Pluto is one of the main planets, but it's, so we want to create this fairness, to bring and consider Eris as well. Okay. So Eris is known as the goddess of discord and strife. She's the main player under this energy. Okay. But don't let that name get to you. Okay. So Eris she's a powerful, powerful warrior. Okay. That moves from her feminine instincts, not her masculine ones. Okay. So her warrior like nature, she's living from her heart. Everything she does is from her heart. Everything she speaks, she has that kind of warrior, but very compassionate type of, it can create strife on the outside because it's such a powerful love. Okay. So she's that mother that can lift a car in order to save her baby. She's very protective. And when her instincts come in, she's more powerful than she even knows. She's the witch that is strong and confident in her magic. All right. She's that woman that owns her sexuality. Okay. She knows she's attractive. She knows she's desirable. All right. She owns all of her qualities. So no matter your gender expression, whether it be masculine or feminine, when you're working with the energy of Eris, it does help to allow us to honor and embrace our darker feminine side. Okay. And that is the side that has been shunned by society. And, as I was speaking, most of my story for the past couple years was experiencing this. I came into this darker energy. I was really experiencing it, honoring it. And then I had to go through this memory for 2 years of how she was shunned, why I was isolated, for being loved, for being so powerfully loving. And, again, it's almost like I had to go back through history and remember this. And so I've honestly been able to see all the ways that the feminine has been discounted or shunned or isolated or laughed at, or all of these things, and again, there's a part of us, it's not just from society or outside of you. It's also a part of you that really has to kind of work through that energy of owning, I don't mind what is going on outside of me or who's saying what. I really need to honor this part of myself because that makes me whole. That's who I am. And I don't want to deny who I am anymore. Okay. Now the dark feminine qualities, those will come up as like jealousy, possessiveness, envy, manipulation. Okay. Sometimes even rage, okay, or lashing out. But, the amazing thing about that energy is that you can take those things that arise and you can transmute them into more like resurrection energy, transformation energy, alchemical, magic, healthy sexual expression, okay, and feeling self-assured and confident. So, when we embrace this aspect of ourselves or these qualities, it allows us to balance the light qualities as well. So we're not just agreeable and nurturing towards others, but we can also stand in our power, right? And we can own who we are. So this can be very powerful when you've been in this very giving and loving and sweet kind of energy. And then when you meet that with, you know what? I know, it's almost like you bring that in to this. No, I'm going to say no, and sometimes we can feel bad about that, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. You're just, it is actually a part of you. So it takes practice, right? And people may not appreciate it at first, but you will. Okay. And that's really what's important here. So River Eris brings in this discord, or even it could even be conflict. It's often where we need to stand up and embrace our shadow feminine side. This came over me this week of, and my kids, they test me a lot, and they were really, really just trying to get everything they could. And because I've always been a giver, um, and I mean, I finally said, look, okay, now this is not acceptable. Okay. Like, you have to understand. And I really had to be assertive and not feel bad, because for some reason I kept feeling, well, they're my children, and, they deserve this. And no, but at the same time, it was like, okay, this is an energy that's taking advantage of me. It really was. And I was allowing it. I finally had to stand up and just say, look, you need to understand, it was almost like a disrespectful energy of an imbalance. Now, of course, I have a lot of Aries. There has been a lot of Aries moon energy that I've had to clear out. So it wasn't necessarily my children. It was more of a channeled energy from me. But a lot of it was kind of talking down to me and trying to be in control of me. And these are my kids, and they're only 5. So again, very collective as well. And so finally I had to stand up, and, I've always been that one that's like, I don't want to control my kids. I want them to be creative. But I had to be very firm on these boundaries of, you need to understand your place. Okay, I am the mother. I make the rules. Okay, you're 5. I'm this. And so when we can expand, we open up and go, oh, the children know more. We should listen to them. And yes, we should. And trust me, my children have given me so much wisdom, but they also feel like they could just walk all over me. Okay. And that was not acceptable. And that may be from an older time when I didn't really acknowledge that part of me, to own my own authority, to own my power, even, if it came down to a child. And again, there's a way of asserting that with a loving tone, right? With a kindness of just, eh, and the pleading didn't work. The teaching didn't work. It was more of, no, you will not. I don't care who you are. You're not going to, like, this is where this ends. And this is where so just, it's really interesting. So it's again, embracing the shadow side. Sometimes this requires us to clear things that are not serving our highest good. Okay. Even relationships that we may want to hold on to. We really definitely need to step into our power more. Okay. So, this is also another area where we can have energetic intentions of equity, fairness, and emotionally sound behavior. So, under this sign's influence, okay, our feelings are subject to flow and change direction with the wind. While reaching a place of balance and rationality, it can be difficult. So, it marks a time for us to operate with a clear mind, to really allow that clear focus to come in. All right. Frustrations over what is unfair, like I said, they'll be quick to surface, very quick. But, choose the high road, managing the anger. All right. Mars represents the feeling of anger. Okay. And it's also kind of squeezed between the feeling of being powerful and genius. All right. Mars symbolizes our willingness to take control of our own reality. So with Mars and Pisces forming a trine with the full moon, the challenge here is to be based in reality. Okay. No more dream time. So this creative thinking, it can lead us to focus on the wrong things, misunderstand interactions, and even feel victimized when there's really not any harm done. Now, even though, being reasonable may feel counterintuitive, it's better than losing your cool, right? So we want to stay kind of humble, smart, and it will definitely test your patience. So I'm going to go over what this means for each sign, okay?
And then there are a few journal entry if you like to document or journal or write down any intentions, the full moons about forgiveness. So I did put a Word document that you can actually click on the link there and you can print it out, or just even have just for your own information. Okay. So that'll be in the description box. So this could be, again, most likely your sun sign, or even your moon sign. But now for Aries, uh, you're going to be asked to release the notion that you understand how you are perceived. And you'll feel very free. Okay. So it's unfair to subject yourself to judgment. You feel like, oh, I already know what they think. It's like, but you don't. Okay. You were not given breath to be someone's exhaled fantasy. So again, you're your own person. So this is allowing you to be the fullest version of yourself. Okay. And turn that attention back to you. Taurus. So whatever you can't understand, whatever you're wondering about, whatever you're trying to really get to, it's going to start dropping hints in your day-to-day life. We've got that new moon coming up in 2 weeks as well. So this is going to be slowly illuminating itself through feelings of exhaustion and even maybe professional resistance. Okay. So you're being asked to learn to trust your intuition and, refrain from kind of chasing dreams that really aren't realistic. Okay. So that thing seems too good to be true is likely to blow up in your face, meaning, but it's really bringing you back down to reality and practicality. Okay. Gemini, you're being asked to let softness, tenderness in to your heart. And you're going to realize just how fun the world can be. Maybe you've been a little serious, right? And this is kind of like, yeah, maybe I should just let down the guard, welcome that romance and that creativity without expectations. And you're going to be very surprised how the universe brings you exactly what you need. Okay. Wisdom definitely comes from using your mind. Okay. But it also comes in from how you apply through experience. Okay. Cancer. So you're being asked now, you're wanting to grow. You're feeling this pull and push to kind of fully grow and spread your wings, right? And it's really asking you to leave your comfort zone. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? It's like, but no excuses at this moment. So you're not meant to stay too close to home, not at least right now. Okay, there is this flowing energy coming in for you. Even if our caretakers have lives outside of us, secrets that we were not intended to know, and legacies they must pursue. So you are the same. All right. We don't need to worry about anything that's out there or what's going on. You know, uh, you are the same person. All right. Leo, your emotions. Okay. Your emotions are coming up heavily during this time, and they can distract you from using your best judgment. Your willingness to lean too far into fairness can distract you from what is right. This is kind of what I was speaking about with my children. Okay. Now, it's asking not to lose sight of equity when making judgment calls. All right. Don't be too lenient with your relationships because you're a lover. All right. You just want to love. But that allows us to kind of, again, go too far in. All right. You're asked to be reasonable at this time. Virgo. Now, that it's time for you to ascend, right? Okay. It's like, all right, I have to get out of the shell. I got to transform. All right. I'm ready to enter the next step of my life. I'm ready. So this desire to hold, onto outdated routines or aspects or specific things in your life is rooted in maybe possibly being emotionally attached. So I feel like this is really asking you to take some time, reflect over your past lovers, past relationships, the ones who got away, the heartbreaks that still ache. And once you release those, it's going to be so much easier for you to bloom, right? It's more of just a clearing out of that energy. And it's like, oh, okay, now that I've checked all those boxes, now I can fully be free, right? Libra, I really feel like you're being asked to be a friend right now. Like, I feel like your friends need you right now. And you're like, what else is new? Okay, they always need me. But you are a blessing, okay, in so many people's lives. And, your willingness to leap and to help your loved ones, it makes you an invaluable person, okay? You may not even know how valuable you are. You may not even know how much you change lives, okay? And so allow those around you, to help guide you through an emotional release. You may have carried on so many things, and it may be that you need them too, right? It's almost like they need you to listen to them so they can help you so you can be a better leader, right? So you might be harboring emotions that really truly need to be felt. But I also feel like at this point, it's asking to just give yourself some time, right? It's like it just takes time, okay? And you're not resentment or anything. It's just new, okay? Scorpio. So, Scorpio, I feel like very subconscious, all right? And it might be ruling you, your subconscious beliefs, things you're stuck on. And if you allow this to rule you, you're going to be consumed, right, by an echo, kind of a fear, okay? It's almost like hearing things that aren't really there. They're ghosts, basically. Now, you weren't born to be a psychic or a mind reader, although you may feel like that. You were intended to live life and trust that the universe, trust what the universe reveals to you. And so this may be a definitely a time of justice for you as well. Okay. So trusting the universe, allowing yourself to unblock some of the, some of the most powerful blessings. If you can become consumed by what you think could go wrong, you will block them. However, if you can be consumed by what could go right, oh my gosh, the blessings are going to come pouring in for you. Okay. So what is it that you want to do that's right? Right? Like there's something there here. It's asking, I really want to do this and I know it's the right thing to do. So I really should do it. Okay. What is that? And that's what it's asking for. Sagittarius. This moon is basically kind of illuminating to you that you're never going to have the love you desire if you continue to rationalize love. I guess it's love because it came across like this, or because I went on these 2 dates and I don't know, right? It's like, I don't know. I guess that goes in the category of love, right? So if you keep trying to intellectualize or push away the emotions, it won't get you very far, basically. Okay. So astrology is saying kind of like, it won't get you that far. So when you release your emotions that you've been protecting, right, your heart is going to open. It's going to give you a chance to grow. And it's just going to allow all this love to pour in and out of you. All right. Capricorn, I feel like this moon is asking for you to rest. You've been putting a lot of work in, and your hard work is definitely paying off. It really is. But I think your bed is calling out to you. It's saying, Capricorn, okay, it's time to rest. Please just come be comfortable with me. Okay. It's time for you to make yourself at home, like really, really home. Maybe you've been hopping around, climbing the mountains, working here, working there, but not really feeling like you have a home, right? So it's literally asking you for that. So your energy levels are definitely going to get better. Your body's going to appreciate you. This is going to bring you into more alignment. Okay. Practicing diligence. All right. That's going to really allow you to operate more balanced. And it's respectable. Okay. So you will be highly respected because of it. It's treating yourself with respect. Ensure that your affairs are in order, so you're not bearing yourself under too much workload. Okay. And you won't get much personal growth if you're hustling. So it's kind of just going with that flow and just allowing things to kind of even itself out. Okay. Aquarius. So Aquarius, I feel like you've learned so much of the world. Okay. And it's easy for you to rely on that, but I feel like this moon is asking to try not to leave your mind there. Like, you can bring your mind with you. So your teachers have laid the groundwork. Okay. They've done everything they can to help you continue to understand the world around you. Okay. So this full moon is requesting that you take some time to critically think, to really use your mind, to really practice that again. Take what you know and add your own personal spin, right? Do your own thing. And you're going to be able to create your own thing. So Pisces, I feel like you may have been feeling like you've been walking in quicksand or very slow. You're feeling a deep desire to kind of keep up, to catch up to something, right? But definitely make sure that you're not taking on more energy than you can carry, because sometimes this can get us kind of pulled into this survival mode, where we kind of want to be in this. It kind of tells the universe, I have to rush and hurry up because something's missing, right? It's more like, you know what? I'm perfectly fine right here. And this is going to allow you to kind of come up with strategies that allow you to do things quicker and smarter, and that aren't going to take as much time. So that the catch-up time, it isn't going to seem as like long drawn out as you may feel. Okay. So sometimes, you must push yourself to emerge. So this is going to allow you to do that. The problem is when you expect yourself to handle more than's possible. So this may be asking you to come into a place of balance and ask yourself, what is really reasonably possible for me at this time, right? What can I actually do? So major changes are going to be occurring in your life at this time. Major. Okay. Allow yourself that space to process them, and then you can move accordingly. Okay. And that another part of embracing the feminine quality is listening, allowing, and then moving based on that. Okay. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for joining in. I did, again, the questions. It's kind of like a mini inventory for your relationships. It's just a document that you can use to reflect. Okay. It's just going to ask you, one thing that you need to clear with an ex or partner, questions about your past relationships. What are you wanting to forgive and release? And so just something to self-reflect on. It'll be in the description box. But until then, thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you appreciated this and enjoyed it, so others can share in on it. And thank you guys for being part of my first official podcast. Have a wonderful evening and good luck with this moon and creating that balance.